Everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, CEO of Dealer Synergy and the creator of AutomotiveInternetSales.com. And I've got a special guest in the green room today, Mr. Joe Calla.
How are you? How you doing?
Okay, so Joe, this is the first time he's been interviewed by me, so he's like, oh God, what is Sean going to do? So let's just go through the history. Let's take people back of, Joe Calla, who he is and how does Sean Bradley know him. Well, first time I met you was at Nelson Mazda in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. How did you meet me and how did you find out about who I was?
So when I was out in Oklahoma, we were out there, my wife and myself, and we were going to, my wife was going to school. And so while I was out there, I was working for Mr. Nelson at the Nissan and Mazda store. And then they had opened up the Mazda store, and I left the Nissan store and went over to there. And they introduced this new internet sales department that they were going to go ahead and put together. This was in 2005. And so they have this guy coming out from the East Coast. And one of the guys from Oklahoma said to me, he's like, yeah, this seems like he speaks your language, So all of a sudden, Sean shows up, and I think I forget what was the guy's name that came with you there. I forget one of the guys that was there, and then he came out, and so anyway, when we were talking, and they came out and started doing the training, we started to find out we had a lot of similarities, and knew a couple people that we both knew and had run into and worked with in the past. And so that was pretty much the start of it there.
And Nelson Mazda started with the Dealer Synergy. For the record, I incorporated in 2004, so this is one of my first accounts. Mm-hmm. This is a year after Dealer Synergy was invented in 2005. So when I came out and I did the training, did you guys listen to me?
We did. We were a little bit annoyed at first with Sean because of the way he was kind of putting us on the spot a lot, and we kind of felt a little uncomfortable about some of the things that he was having us do. But what happened was we kind of kicked against the the grain a little bit, and then we decided, you know what?
Stop. He's lying. Don't stop the camera. Don't stop the camera. Don't stop the camera. I'm saying stop this. He's diplomatic. He's political. That's not what happened. This is what happened. I go in, and I'm coming in like, bam! Because I just came from being an internet director. Like, I was just young and just crazy, and I came in there like a drill sergeant, kicking the doors like, boom! I want you to do this, this, and this. They were all lackadaisical being in Oklahoma, and they're like, oh, whatever, this is not going to work here. So what happened was, you didn't listen to some of the stuff. I flew back out there for reinforcement training and put you on the spot in front of your GM and blasted you because one of the people that they deaded because it wasn't an active lead, tell them about the Murphy's Law, how that worked out for you. Remember when I came back and Brandon turned around and called the first person? Did you mark dead?
I don't remember the actual account of it.
This is what happened. Okay, this is funny.
I'm sure he does.
So I remember this like it was yesterday because it was hysterical. They had marked a lead dead. So for all you internet departments, do you ever have that problem where you mark somebody dead, you broom them, and they're really not dead? So I get there, and I'm going through their CRM with the general manager and the whole team, and by dumb luck, it wasn't on purpose, the GM turns around and checks their dead leads. Supposedly I couldn't get a hold of this person. Brandon got the person on the phone. Not only did he get him on the phone, he made him an appointment. Not only did he make an appointment, they showed up and they bought a car. Do you remember that now?
No.
Yes. So this
I think I purposely put that out of my brain.
So what happened is that they turned around and they were like, oh, I'm going to get this little bastard. You know what I mean? They turned around because I made him look bad a little bit. They said, this is not going to work. His system's not going to work here in Oklahoma. He's a New Yorker, crazy little guy. We're going to turn around and we're going to just do this so we can get him out of here. We're going to show him that it doesn't work. Do you remember this now?
A little bit, yeah. It's
okay.
all coming back.
It's all coming back. So what happened is that they turned around and actually followed the system, followed the scripts, and they did it with like, oh, we're going to do this and it's not going to work and we're going to get rid of them. What happens? Tell them what happened with that store. You went from 7 to 80, is that correct?
Yeah. Well, what happened was we just started to work the process, and the process worked. So that was one of the biggest things that we realized was that, if you work it, it works. If you don't, it doesn't. I mean, it's not going to just work itself. So as we started to do it, we started to see some success. Everybody was becoming happy. He wasn't as crazy as we thought he was. He had
a little crazy, though.
He had a little bit of crazy, but not as much as we thought. And so at that point there, that was pretty much the introduction. We had a good thing going.
And a good thing, let me define a good thing, sir, because he's modest. I'm not modest. I'm the promoter, right? They made the cover of Digital Dealer magazine. Nelson Mazda was on the cover from going from 7 units to 80 units and on the cover of Digital Dealer Magazine at a single point Mazda dealership in Tulsa, Oklahoma. On top of that, there was an association in the beginning of this called the Association for Automotive Internet Sales Professionals, the AAISP. And they actually awarded Nelson Mazda the Most Improved Dealership of the Year award, and the same year that they're on the cover of the magazine. So they went from non-existence, being invisible to the national stage, to being on the cover of Digital Dealer Magazine and having such profound success. So I say this because I want you to understand the background is that we didn't start off being great friends. We started off a little bit friction, like most of my good relationships are. But okay, so then you were only there temporarily for your wife, and her name is?
Lisa.
Okay,
Yep,
I know this, but I want you to introduce her to the
Yeah,
public.
Lisa, my wife Lisa, she graduated from school in '06. We moved back from Oklahoma back to New Jersey. At that point, I came back into connection with Sean, being back on the East Coast, and ended up doing some work with him for a little while. As we were on our way back, and as we landed back in the East Coast, we basically had we were having our first baby, and so we decided the best move for me at that point was to not be so airborne and not be out of the house as much. So I anchored back down into a dealership, which I worked at for 6 years. It was a Penske Automotive store, a Toyota dealership.
Gateway Toyota.
Gateway Toyota.
How many units did the store deliver total?
Total overall store, when I got there in '06, it was probably maybe 300 or so on average. Then, but the internet department was very, very scarce. Kind of just needed tremendous work. I was actually hired to be a salesman. Then the BDC person got blown out the week before I got there, and then it just opened up a door for me to become, come in and kind of work that whole department. We set it up. Ended up working with just 3 of us at the beginning. By the time I left, there was about 5 of us, and that was I left in October of 2012. And
How many units were you delivering?
We were pushing about 150 a month.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you went into a 300 plus single point Toyota dealership store. It's a Penske store, Gateway Toyota in Toms River, New Jersey. You're doing over 300 units. The internet department wasn't doing anything. I remember when you first got there, it was like 30, 40 cars?
Yeah, it was 40 cars or so, total between. And that's internet, broker, that's kind of like a combination fleet. That's all the whole thing together.
And then you took it to 150.
We went to 150. And then now they just got into a new building after I had left. And so now they're even pushing over 200 now. Based off of kind of the foundation that we set when I got there.
So this is not an accident. You went from Tulsa, Oklahoma, from 7 units to 80 units at a single point Mazda dealership and on the cover of Digital Dealer Magazine. Then you went, fast forward, you did a small stint at Dealer Synergy in transition until you found you're having the baby. Then you got into a Penske dealership where you started in sales, just quickly took over the internet department, and for 6 years you ran the Gateway Toyota internet department and took it from 40 to 150 units a month on the internet.
Yep.
Okay, now after you left there, where are you at now?
Now I'm with Auto Trader right now, Auto Trader Group, and working with 47 dealers I have underneath my my book of business, and I'm helping dealers with not just their Auto Trader advertising and marketing with our products and Kelley Blue Book and vAuto and the different product sister companies that we are associated with. However, I also provide the industry expertise that I bring from the dealership world to them. So I kind of give them that unique perspective of not just an advertising guy. I'm a car guy, and I think that's one of the things that.
How many years do you have in the automotive industry?
Total of 11 years in the automotive industry.
Okay, so you have 11 years automotive industry, 2 nationally successful organizations, the Nelson Auto Group and the Gateway Toyota situation, and now that kind of primed you to work from internal dealership. Now you're working B2B. What's that transition like for you to go from being an in-store car guy manager for all these years to now working B2B, working for 47 different dealerships?
I like it. I like the ability to be able to help dealers, help dealer principals, managers, internet salespeople, do business and help them, give them, more bullets for their holster, so to speak, to be able to be effective in selling more cars more often, more profitably, Basically the whole dealer synergy slogan there. But it's the truth. We want to go in there, and I want to be able to go and help these guys out. And these dealers realize it, and they see that. They see the genuineness behind when I come in, that I'm not just trying to sell a product. I'm trying to help them achieve their goals and mission, and that is to sell cars, but do it right and do it with stuff that works.
Here's the thing. I'll just be honest with you. People know that I've been critical on Auto Trader. Don't worry, don't freak out. I'm going to actually give a compliment. I was shocked because we've been friends for a long time, and we'll get into the personal stuff in a minute. When you were going to work for Auto Trader, it was like, Joe, how could you? I mean, but you know what? The part of the problem with Auto Trader I saw was that they were charging so much money, and for some dealers, they weren't getting the value out of it. But I learned something from you. It's not just with your clients that they're buying Auto Trader, they're getting you. And I want you to talk about that because whatever lead source provider, whether it's Cars.com, AutoBuyTel, nowadays, when it's 2013 going to 2014, it's not just the product, it's the company itself. You know what I mean? And people make the company. So I think what you personally are bringing to your Auto Trader clients, come on, brother, it's very different and very special compared to a regular Auto Trader rep or a regular Cars.com rep. Would you not agree?
Well, I believe that that's what sets me apart. I provide value in me. And that's one of Auto Trader's biggest, core competencies, and that is that we, as the rep, is what brings the value to the dealer, and as well as the product. But we have to realize some of the things that the dealers are dealing with. I come in from the perspective of knowing that, hey, listen, I sat on the other side of the desk. I had Auto Trader. I had Auto Trader reps sit with me. I know I use this thing. I have some of the same frustrations that dealers may have had with Auto Trader. I have some of the same questions that dealers may have had. And so now bringing both sides to the table, I've been able to really help be a bridge to understand some of the things and how things work. For example, one of the things that I realized about third-party websites, third-party websites are it's a category. And it's the same way that, sports is a category, but underneath that category of sports, there's different sports in there. There's soccer, there's football, there's golf, there's tennis, but there's different rules to every sport that fall underneath the category of sports. You don't apply the same rules to every single sport. There's different ones with different boundaries so that you can be successful in those sports that you're playing. And it's the same thing that I realize now, that we can't have the same expectations with every single third-party website if we try to use the same set of rules for every single third-party website. We have to find out the rules that work for those third-party websites, maximize those rules, and work within the boundaries to be successful. And so now by doing that, I've discovered that there's certain rules, and now I can help tell that story to our dealers, and it turns the light on. It makes them see and realize, wow, maybe I was missing it. I was expecting this, and then I wasn't getting that, so therefore I was not happy with it. And one of the biggest things I realized with dealers is this: failed expectations cause dealership cancellations. When dealers are not being met with their expectation to what they want to get, they're going to cancel. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we tell the right story to give them the proper expectation, and that's where I was able to kind of help be that bridge for them.
Well, listen, I got to tell you that I am extremely impressed. Somebody from the outside looking in on your career, from the Nelson Mazda in Oklahoma to the Gateway to what you're doing on on a B2B level with Auto Trader. Now, I am very confident that all the dealers that you are working with are extremely lucky to have you. And
thank you.
My opinion of Auto Trader has definitely gone way up. I think that that was a very smart move that they did by securing you. Now, what the good news is, if you like this little interview with Mr. Joe Callett, Joe's going to shoot a couple videos. He's going to be my special guest for the next Make Money Mondays issue. So definitely got to watch that. Also, Joe, I'm putting you on the spot here because I'm doing it on camera. I want you to shoot a couple videos, after we exit this one. One's going to be on best practice tips for used cars. I know Auto Trader does new cars, but Auto Trader has been branded for used cars. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, and I don't want you to say it now, I want to the next video, but a lot of people want to know, how do you maximize used car sales? My
Okay.
opinion, obviously, it's having the right inventory, it's priced the right way, having the little market addendums and all those little details. So besides the Make Money Mondays tip, you're going to see from Joe, you're going to be able to see how to maximize used cars. Fair enough?
Yep. Sounds
Listen,
good.
it's been an honor to have you here
Thank
at
you.
the automotiveinternetsales.com studio, and
been an
congratulations
honor.
on your success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.